we're going to take a look at a couple of big problems with Uber Eats and go over some 2-for-1s and 3-for-1s. And finally, what in the world is the support team up to when no one is calling in? Well, okay, it just started out with an $8.20 order to go 5.3 miles. And this is interesting because this is an HEB app order. But sometimes they use local restaurants. So the burger place, yeah, that wasn't bad. Of course, this is an easy rejection for someone with smarts, with thinking ability. But I mean, you have 4 stops for $12 and a half. You're going to go 20 miles. It'll take you 1 hour or 59 minutes for that 12 and a half bucks to go even more in mileage, plus the traffic or the amount of vehicular travelers out is greater at that time. I would say around 4:30 p.m. in these parts, 5 p.m. on a work day. So a tremendously bad one to go very far for very little. Instead of an hour, you could be looking an hour 15, hour 30 for that 12 and a half bucks, and all that extra mileage and time waste. And if you think about it, you also might want air conditioning if it's more warm outside, so that uses a little energy, plus your car wear and tear. Just not a good deal, and these are reasons why you pass by, when you're thinking individual, you pass by things like this and just leave it for someone else, and hopefully they reject it too, so eventually the offer might have to go a little higher. So, and that is a good thing for everyone involved, for the drivers out there, and for lifting the pay rates some. And of course, I took this one, good 2-for-1, 6.5 miles, half an hour, for 13 bucks. And that worked out okay. The delivery went fine and everything. Raisin Cane's, again, you order is when you get there. Order and pay is after you get there, you order. But that's one restaurant, again, that's really good with that. Raisin Cane's has that as a standard. And you can't go to all restaurants and order and pay, like some would be terrible to accept that with, because they're already slow as it is. But Raisin Cane's has so much ready because they do so much high volume in business that the food is practically ready. They just got to assemble it. Certainly a nice order from the Costco for an hour of time to make 24 bucks. That's not bad in these parts. To get 3 things, you don't know, it could be 3 waters, but you go 18 miles. That's it's kind of out of the jurisdiction or the area that I want to be in, so I didn't take that. Certainly, though, if you begin real early in the day, if you're thinking about it that way, you can say, okay, I have plenty of time to get back, and we'll just, take that and be off to a okay beginning, And here's one for $8.33 to go 7 miles. Usually it's a no, but since it's going back to a place that I want to go to, and I'm kind of waiting to get back in that area, I go ahead and take it for 26 minutes, 30 minutes. It's better than driving dead miles back. If you want to end your shift at a certain time, or it's getting towards that time of day you just want to end, there's nothing wrong with taking a 1-for-1 dollar to mile, or 1.25 to 1 mile, something like that, because it gets you just back in the area, and far better than driving without an order. And another one from Raisin Cane's. Boy, I sure do go there a lot. Like I said, it's very popular, and when you know your places, they'll have the food ready. But $10 and a half to go 4.7 miles, pretty easy take for, under a half an hour order. And then that one went okay. And here's kind of a funny one. There's no way I'm accepting this one, because the Dairy Queen in these parts, first of all, it's 4 stops, 2 restaurant, 2 locations afterwards for 11 bucks. And that's to go 7 miles. And supposedly this only takes a little bit over half an hour. But first of all, I'm looking for more like 15, 16, 17 bucks because of 4 stops. I'm thinking, stopping insurance. I need some precaution there because that's more risk for more stops. But in any event, 11 for 7 miles, the problem with that is Dairy Queen is so slow in these parts. It's so ridiculous. I mean, they could have placed the order, and when you get there, you could still wait 15, 20 minutes and that's absolutely not. That could turn into an easy nearly an hour for something like that. Okay, here was a nice double. At a local station here, 7-Eleven station, you just walk in and pick it up. Usually that's the way it goes. You don't shop at those little places. They actually compile it at the stations like that. Usually, I have found to let you know. So, and if it was shopping, it would say there anyway the number of items, which it doesn't. So for 15 minutes, $7.50, and that's to go 2.5 miles. So it's a three for one, pretty easy, nice take. And then on the way there, I got a secondary, the same place, 7-Eleven, and it's going to be just add on a mile and a half and add on $6.50 for 13 minutes. So you're figuring maybe half an hour for $14 or so to go 4 miles. That's not bad at all, but that 14 turned into something like 10 because the second order was they were both on the where they need to prove their identity, scan the ID for alcohol. Both orders were related to that. So one was okay, but the secondary one, they didn't want to cooperate with that. And then they said that's not what they ordered, even though I showed them what the order was that I was picking up on the phone. So yes, it was what they ordered. They just put in the wrong thing or whatever. They refused. I took it back. Uber Eats makes you take it back, for crying out loud. So, but that worked out okay. It wasn't too far away, but you got to be careful. I mean, wow, I don't know what to say about that. I called them. You spend more time calling and talking to someone, but I got a little reimbursement for like $3, and that's $1.50 they'll give you. And so instead of $6.50, I got $3. It's basically $1.50 times 2 to pick it up and to bring it back to the store was $1.50 plus $1.50. So they let me have 3 out of the $6.50. Ridiculous. I mean, I want to get paid the full amount, and I feel that that's very bad of them. I know it's very bad of them, and they need to correct that. That $3 that happens to many, many people in the United States, for example, when you take the order back or something goes wrong or someone else picks it up or it's canceled after the fact, whatever that fact may be, that at least needs to be higher. I'm thinking at least, $5, but 6, 7, whatever that problem is, or if the order was accepted lower, like if someone accepted for $4.25, okay, then pay the $4.25, but that $3 is not good. People using their time, that could take half an hour and more, and you're paying someone $3? No, sir. You need to go back and fix your business as Uber Eats and get your heads on right, because that's despicable behavior, and that is called out here. And of course, other people know that, and people with sense know that. So that needs to be corrected either by listening to these words, which are correct, or the government stepping in through regulation and fines. That is absolutely absurd. You need to respect the independent contractors that you work with, just as you're respected that you earn money through your platform. It goes both ways, but not like that. That is awful treatment of drivers, and that needs to be corrected. Bottom line, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then on the phone, I was with Uber Eats, and I got that all sorted out and everything. I was just so shooken up, and I get upset at stuff like that because I know it's injustice, and that's not right that I go through that. Then after the self-awareness fact of that, there's other people out there. I'm concerned with me, first of all, but then I'm thinking, second of all, I'm also concerned with other people, and it upsets me that people in general go through this. So I would want that corrected. But in any event, DoorDash came up $12.65 to go 4.8 miles. 4 stops, but the 2 restaurants are near each other. Raising Cane's and another daiquiri's place. I would take that one. And it's good. I mean, it's almost a 3 for 1. And the problem was I was just so shooken up. I just let it time out or declined it. And getting off the phone with Uber Eats, getting my little refund. I was just settling down, I think, and just reflection for a little bit over these things because they're upsetting. You can see why just that $3 for half an hour or whatever, terrible wage, below minimum wage, but then it upsets you in the carryover effect if you let it get to you. So what's the advice here? If you can hold it together, is just continue. Just continue on past those problems. I know it's difficult. I'm saying these things because maybe you feel like you're the only one and like it's bad. Well, it is bad, and it's injustice from that company, Uber Eats, on that part. That needs to be corrected. 3 is far too low. That's not respecting drivers' time. But anyway, this was a great order. I just ended up passing. So unfortunately, maybe someone else got it. So that's great. Then the carryover effect, like I was saying, I was just reflecting and maybe coming to an end of the shift and everything. But I also just let this one time out. Another burger place, 3.6 miles, 18 minutes, third of an hour to earn $8.28. An easy 2 for 1. Could have taken that one as well. And that was going in a nice direction for myself. So, but I did not. And hang on to my, upsetness. And that's difficult for some people for a little bit. I just need to recalibrate a little bit and let things cool off. Here's a tip on using the Uber Eats app, because if you're going to call them from the app itself, which is normal, a beginner would, I did, but now I'm thinking to use a different, faster route, because if you're going to call them because you want a $3 reimbursement, if possible, if you can do it, instead of going to the app and clicking 4, 5, 6, 7 different buttons, all to find it buried under something, is just save the number. And I have the number here. It's a 1-800 number. But if you just save the number, whatever that number is, live or in your location, find that out first, and put it in your contacts. And that way you can call Uber Eats directly immediately while the app can continue running and you can see orders coming in. Plus, you don't want to be clicking around buttons and everything when orders continue coming, and then you have to stop your app and say, hold on a minute, let's stop the app from running, pause all orders. Yes, but the problem is that you may miss something, but you can kind of, call them from the phone directly, put it on speakerphone or whatever while the next orders are running. That's not a bad option to at least try out. Plus, you don't click around hitting buttons. And secondly, with this technical know-how, in order to continue time well, the second part is that you don't have to find it each time. So it saves that time as well. So yes, some tactical advice about that. You can screenshot it. You can put it in your contacts, maybe the best thing. But that way, because frequently there are problems. So you might want to have delivery apps or package apps, whatever apps you use, the phone numbers in the contacts so you can call them directly. Yeah, and that may work really well. Here's one. I love HEB in these parts. Stands for Here Everything's Better. HEB. And I love it in these parts. I like going to the store. I prefer loyalty to them over Wal-Mart. I just like the atmosphere. I like the people, friendly, good work environment, good customer base. You see people, but HEB. Anyway, that being the case, I'm not going to shop for 18 items for $9. To go 3 miles. It's a 3 for 1, but it really doesn't matter what those items are. I mean, they could have all been one thing. I don't know. I didn't look at the details, but 18 different things for $9. One thing it don't really tell you how long it'll take, but that type of thing could well take an hour, and yeah. Well, now I'm kind of ticked off because along with the problems with those that issue with the $3 refund and skipping 1 or 2 good ones, that I could have had, now I have a $13.58 to go 4.8 miles. So almost a 3 for 1, and it'll take you 20 minutes. So that's a real good hourly wage. Problem is, when I get over to the wing place, someone else already picked it up, and they let me know that real quickly at least, and it was nearby where I was waiting. But along with that, I mean, it's just so stupid. They need to fix their game or get out of the game business with Uber Eats. It is very simple. That $3 thing needs to go up. And now the secondary problem, when I go to a place, I do not want to see that it's already been picked up. I'm the one accepting it. It should never hit the phone with a ping. And can you imagine? And I didn't drive very far for this, but can you imagine going 10 miles to go get something, a nice order or something, or 5 miles to get there and someone else has already picked it up? No, that needs to be refunded. That type of thing too. I didn't not call on this one. I'm just so frustrated at this point. I'm just kind of ending the shift, and just letting that be, and moving on. But yeah, that's two massive problems with the Uber Eats program. That is not a good thing. That needs to be regulated from the government or somewhere else, because they're capable, but they choose to do the wrong thing. And let these things go, and that does not need to be let slide. That needs due attention from authorities over them, though, to force people to do, right things, because that is ludicrous. And then, if that's the case, people should be getting auto refunds. Here's $3 for your time. Here's $3 for your time. Here's $5 or $5 for your time, and also not spending time on the phone with them. But in any event, those are the deliveries. And didn't do absolutely horrible, but with those, that's not a good shift. With the first problem, and then here with the second problem, not a good shift. So every once in a while, you run into a bad shift, but with consistency, and maybe a little bit extra time, you can overcome that. Okay, on a lighter note, the support team at Uber Eats. I was just thinking about this a bit earlier. Well, my dear, how it is, or have you considered, what exactly does this support team from Uber Eats do when we're not calling in? I mean, do they monitor our location and see to it that we are keeping up with accepting orders and our whereabouts, or what may be important to them? I know not. Why don't you do you a favor and go ahead and like the video. It helps stay around, and maybe you'll see more from Dark Biscuits here, or subscribe too for more content on the way. Maybe offer some helpful tactical tips in order to think well when you're out driving and when you're out doing this type of work part-time or what have you.